Hi guys, my name is Christine and I'm a dating, relationship and personal development coach. And today I'm talking about give your ex silence, okay? So the biggest fear that I see people having when it comes to the no contact rule and to no longer talk to their ex anymore, to stop communicating with them, the biggest fear is that with these people that are struggling with the no contact rule, struggling to start applying the no contact rule, is they're worried that if they stop talking to their ex, they stop communicating with their ex, that the ex is going to forget about them and they're never going to hear from them again. That they're going to lose their ex if they stop talking to their ex. And also you see this with people that are trying to perhaps reattract a crush or someone that they got rejected by, or someone that say that they went out on a few dates with and then suddenly they started losing interest. They become very needy and they think, but if I stop talking to them, if I stop the communication, the lines of communication, they're gonna just disappear and I'm never gonna hear from them again. But the thing is that if you never hear from them again, then that's good, because obviously they weren't that into you. They no longer love you. If it fizzles out when you stop communicating with them and they don't ever talk to you again, then that shows you how they actually feel about you, right? And you want to know how they feel about you, because if they don't love you and you never hear from them again, then that's good, because then you can move on, right? But if they love you and they care about you and they still want to be in your life, and perhaps maybe they want to reconnect with you, you will hear from them. If you go into no contact, they will reach out once they realize that they are losing you. Okay, but you've got to accept that you may not hear from them again. You have to accept the reality that this thing could have fizzled out. They might not have feelings for me anymore. They may not want to talk to me anymore. And I may never hear from them again. They might be glad the breakup happened. And that's a very huge reality, and that could be a very big possibility, that you may not ever hear from them again, right? But at least by doing no contact, you realize and you learn that. You learn how they feel about you in no contact. Because if they love you and care about you, miss you, they'll reach out. If they don't, you'll never hear from them again. And if they're stubborn, let's say you've got a stubborn ex on your hand, then, and you never hear from them, then that's good as well, because who wants to be with someone that's stubborn, who can't communicate, who can't be honest about their feelings? Right? Someone who has got their head screwed on, who has a loving heart, will get in touch with you if they miss you. They just will. They may not say flat out, I miss you. They may not flat out say, I want to get back with you. They may not do that. Right? But they may say something like, hey, how are you? Hey, how have you been? Right? So, you want that, basically. You want to know, basically, how this person feels about you, which is why you should give your ex silence, because then you'll know. You'll find out. With time, all will be revealed. Okay? So, also, I want to just put in there as well that your ex is an ex for a reason, right? And I know that's a cliche saying, but the thing that I say about cliche sayings is if it's a cliche, then it's probably true. Because if it's something that's been said over and over again, it's probably true. Your ex probably did you a favor by breaking up with you, or you did yourself a favor by breaking up with them, because maybe you ended it. Because usually, if something ended, then it's supposed to stay ended, because perhaps if you got dumped, then your ex wasn't happy in the relationship, right? And you don't want to be with someone who isn't happy, who doesn't want to be there, because it's much more better to be in a relationship with someone who actually wants to be there, who wants to be with you, right? It's so much more fun, it's so much more effortless, it's so much more loving when you have someone who actually wants to be there. Okay? So if you've got an ex that doesn't want to be there and they dumped you, then fine. You should let them be and let them go on their way, because they don't want to be there. You want to find someone that does want to be there. Okay? And also, perhaps it was for the best as well. Perhaps you two just had a difference in lifestyles. Perhaps you clashed on different things. There was a lot of arguments, a lot of crying, a lot of upset. Perhaps that was going on. And no doubt if you guys broke up, there probably was some sort of blowout somewhere along the line that made that happen. So it's for the best, right? because the point is that with no contact, with, giving your ex silence, you'll either get them back or you'll just find someone better, right? And you have to have that in you, right? You have to feel that, you have to feel that, because when I hear something like that, I feel a relief, right? You'll either get them back or you'll find someone better. And that is a very relieving thought, I feel, anyway. And it kind of lets you off the hook a little bit. It makes you sort of have a whatever will be kind of attitude. You're not clinging anymore. You're like, you know what? I'm just going to let go and I'm just going to feel good about this. I'll either get them back or I won't, right? It kind of makes you feel a little bit more blasé about it, shall we say. And that's good, right? You want to feel, you don't want to care so much about it, because if you're caring too much, then it's probably keeping you stuck and it's preventing you from moving on. So what you want to do then is you want to change your mindset about the whole breakup, right? You want to see a breakup as a fresh slate, as a new exciting adventure for yourself. Because, if you were in a relationship and let's say you were living together, there's a lot of stuff going on, you're together for a long time, a lot of your time was consumed with this person, this partner of yours. Now that you've broken up, you now have time to work on other things, to perhaps go back to the person you used to be, perhaps, seeing more of your friends, doing more of the things that you love to do, you see? See it as that. See it as, oh, now I get to do stuff. Now I get to do the stuff that I like to do. Now I get to work on these sorts of things, right? And see it like that. See it as a new exciting adventure, and see like the opportunity now, like, okay, right, we broke up. Now I can go and meet new people. Now I can meet new guys, new women, whatever it may be for you. Now I have the opportunity to go and find new people and to make new connections, to make new romantic connections, to make new friends. I have all this time now. Awesome. I'm on this brand new adventure for myself. It's a fresh slate. I can start again. I'm gonna learn from what I did, the mistakes that I made and the things that I did right. I'm gonna take those things with me, and I'm gonna have a better relationship than I've ever had before. And that's the kind of right mindset that you should have when you're starting a new life as a single person. Okay? So, in essence, the silence that you give your ex will reveal in time how they feel about you, right? You'll either hear from them or you'll never hear from them again. And then if you do hear from them, it's then up to you what you decide that you want to do. Do I really want to get back with them? You have to really think about that, because you don't want to be going back to a bad thing, okay? So you need to be careful. You don't want to be, sometimes it's best to stay single. And more times, let's say like 9 times out of 10, it's better to stay single than to go back with an ex, okay? Unless, the only exception I've ever really seen is if the breakup happened over a huge misunderstanding, right? Let's say they thought that you were cheating when you weren't, or like let's say a third party got involved and they were making up lies about you. Let's say like it was a mutual friend started telling your girlfriend or boyfriend things about you that weren't true, and they made you dump them. They made them dump you, basically. So it's only really with things like that where there's been like a huge misunderstanding, or there was like some sort of third party that was like meddling, right? So those are the only occasions where I think it's okay to get back with an ex, especially if you feel like your ex was actually a really lovely person and you got on really well, and you had a great connection and things just were really, really good and you felt really happy, right? So you have to think about that. You also have to think about the last couple of months of the relationship, because usually when people break up, they start looking back on the good things, right? But you have to look at the bad things too. You have to look at the last, because usually if a breakup happened, that means the last occasions you were together probably weren't very happy, right? There was probably arguments, there was probably a lot of crying, especially, if you was in a long-term thing. This thing's probably been building up for a while if you was together for a while, right? So you got to think about that. Like, how was the last few months of our relationship? If it was turbulent, if there was lots of arguing, lots of tears, then it's probably best not to go back to it. Because usually, if that couple gets back together, where there was a lot of arguing, a lot of crying, even though the first couple of months are good when they get back together, eventually those kinds of things start happening again, and then the breakup happens again for like one last final time, because they've realized that neither of the other person has actually changed. Okay, so that's my advice on that. So thank you so much for watching. If you'd like to get in touch with me personally and you'd like coaching with me, then please go to www.christineloveridge.com. Thank you so much for watching, and I shall talk to you again very soon. Goodbye.